What's going on, family? Live and direct on the air, live and direct on the air. Y'all know the brand. Freedom is a must. Freedom is definitely a must. Hoping everybody's well, everybody's safe. Everybody live for the day, because tomorrow never promise. So check this out. This is important, man. If you're a woman and you're holding a brother down in the system, you know, be real with it, man. You know what I'm saying? If you're not planning to hold him down throughout all the rest of the years, let him know. Keep it real, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of brothers doing like, 20 years, 25, or a stretch of time. And, women tend to say, we're going to hold you down. And then, after 2 years, 3 years, they get tired. Because, I understand you want to move on with your life. And he should understand that's in prison that, who wants to be around 20 years holding somebody down when, you can find love somewhere else and you can continue your life. And if I was in that position, I would tell you, listen, don't wait for me. Just go do what you got to do. I fucked up. I got to do my time, and you got to do your time on the outside, and meet somebody new and continue your life, you know what I'm saying? But don't stand there and act like you're going to be there and you're not, at least, listen, I'm not going to be with you, but I'm going to hold you down. I'm going to move on with my life, because I have to. But I'm going to hold you down. You need a little conversation. You need this. You need somebody to talk to on the phone or whatever. Respectfully, you call me respectfully, and we'll talk and stuff like that. Because, if you find another man on the outside, you're not going to be on the phone talking disrespectfully, with the guy in jail when you're no longer with the guy in jail, but you're helping him out, you know what I'm saying? And also keep it real with your partner that you moved on to let them know, listen, this is a situation, and, I would do it for you if you went to jail. I'm holding them down and so forth. There ain't nothing, no ties together into the situation. I'm just helping them out, you know what I'm saying? And so that's that. So I say this because a lot of women tend to say that they're going to hold the guys down, and they leave him in there thinking that they all hold him down. In reality, not. They moved on, and so forth, so forth. So anyway, I get calls from the system all the time. And I got a brother who I'm not going to mention his name. He got 100 years to life. And it's crazy because he helped another brother that was in there that did about 33 years. And the brother was coming home, and he used to do these three-way calls for this brother. And he did the three-way call by calling his wife, the one that's doing 100 years, and his wife will call whatever number his friend needs so he can communicate on the outside world. And apparently, he was working on getting home and stuff like that after all them years. And the guy came home and took my boy's wife that was doing 100 years. It's discussing in two parts. It's discussing that he will do something like that knowing of what the code is, what I'm saying, as a prisoner, as a man, as a person that, with loyalty, with honesty. He should know that that was wrong. That's one. Two, she should know that she's dirty for even doing something like that, because that's dirty. So now she blocked the calls where he can't call no more and all that there, because she's with the guy that came home. You know what I'm saying? So she's with the guy that came home and blocked the calls for my boy that's 100 years, which they married. So, now he's in there, he's stressing, he's not going to kill himself because he's not that type of dude, but imagine somebody else would have committed suicide behind something like this. 100 years, the only person I had was my wife. She was holding me down, and all of a sudden now she's not. She left with another nigga that I try to help out in the system. And I understand what he's going through because I went through it too. I went to, when I was in Sullivan, they had blocked my call where I couldn't call. And the only way to do it was through a three-way. And the truth, I'm going to mention the nigga name because people should know what his dude is. He might be doing this to other people. His name is Munchie. He's from the Bronx. And what happened was that, when I went to the yard, I was looking to see who I could pay to do three ways. And I bumped into this guy here that was always on the phone on the regular. Got to meet him, we talked, we vibed, I thought he was cool. Boom, y'all need to do three ways. And he was doing three ways for me, no problem. After like about a week or so, and he tells me, when I asked him about calling again, because I was trying to get the person to take the block off so I could, get my money, get my stuff that I need, my stuff up there that I can't get because this person has my shit. He tells me, listen, man, I won't even bother no more, man. I won't even bother only because you keep calling three-way, they're not taking the block off. Why you stressing that? And I said, son, you're right, man. I got to get that off my chest, and I got to see how I could do my things another way and find somebody else, whatever, where I could, do my things because this ain't working. Apparently, they're not taking the three-way off, so they don't want me to call them straight through, and the number's on my list, and I got to keep going through you. And you're absolutely right, man. And I left it alone, and I finally gave it up. And what's crazy is that he was going to go home in about 4 weeks or something. All this time, and I found out this later, all this time, he was going back to his block. We was in different blocks in Sullivan. And he was calling the person that I was calling on three-way to get my stuff. And he was rapping to her, and he was throwing the game down. And she took his game, accepted his game, and all that there. And, the nigga played me like I'm some type of sucker nigga, but he was going home, you know what I'm saying? And apparently when I came home, my cousin and them said, yo, yeah, there's such and such. We see them, we don't mess with them no more, because they got this dude that came home from this jail named Sullivan, and he's bugged out, he be screaming, they be arguing, all type of shit there. And I said, Sullivan. And when they told me his name, Munchie, I already knew what went on with the whole thing right there, and why he told me not to call no more, leave that alone, that's not going to work, and boom, boom, boom. The nigga was rapping to her, she took his rap, he came home and went to live with her. What type of shit is that? And what's crazy is that, when I came home, I came to the Bronx. I stood in the Bronx for a little while. And for a minute, I was so angered about it because that's some sucker shit that I said, damn, I wish I could bump into this dude. I was praying to bump into this dude and praying to bump into this dude. And I would pass by the parole building because I knew that's where he go to parole at, and see if I could bump into this dude, man. And I never got, I never bumped into him. And I moved into Brooklyn, and to this day I haven't bumped into him, man. But it's to show you, man, how even dudes on the inside, you're sitting inside and you're a grimy motherfucker. And you came out and you're a grimy motherfucker. And it's sad that we got to go through this, we got to go through this, man. To try to trust people that we can't even trust when we think we can trust people to help us out in certain situations, man. Stay woke, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say what I say. And what's crazy about it? You better stay woke. If you out there still slinging, which this guy that came home to take this nigga's wife is still out there slinging, doing all the wrong shit, trying to get money, walking around with a gun, all this bullshit, you know what I'm saying? I'm not mentioning no names or what it is. I'm just letting you know what's going on. So you out there doing what you're doing, and what's going to happen is that eventually, God forbid, because I don't wish nobody to be in jail, God forbid you get caught up out there, and guess what's going to happen? You're going to go in there, and you know that the system is real small, man. You're going to get caught up with my boy that's doing 100 years, that's very well known in the state. Yeah, you known in the state too. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the one that did that to my guy with the 100 years. The other dude, a lot of dudes ain't know this dude. You know what I'm saying? He was just a dude. But, the dude that did this to my boy with the 100 years, he's known too, and people know him, and he did like 30, 35 years, you know what I'm saying? But, you're going to go back in there, God forbid, and you're going to get caught up and bump heads with my boy with the 100 years, and, man, it's going to get crazy, bro. It's going to get crazy, man, and, the truth is it even worth it? Or was it worth it to have done that to a dude, man, that was doing a bid, hard time, just like you was doing time, and was just trying to, you know what I'm saying, had something that he was holding on to that, towards his hard times, you know what I'm saying? So, you guys gotta really think and check yourself when you do shit like this, man. Shit is real grimy, man. I would never do no shit like that, man. That's like, man, there's no honor in that, man. There's no loyalty, man. There's nothing, man. Check yourself, man.